Hello, everyone. We're here again with Sunny Fireside Sports. This is our 49th episode. We've been at this a while. We've been talking the strength of all sports, and we have some powerful guests. And we're going to talk sports, the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, and we're going to move it around and we're going to get to the nitty gritty of sports. But first, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, uh, A Rocket sponsor. Phil, take it.
All right, guys, as we know, at some point in life, everybody has to move. And when that time comes, the person you should call or the company you should call is A Rocket Moving and Storage. A Rocket Moving and Storage is a second generation moving and storage company. We're located at 3401 Quarter in Houston. Number 713-748-6024. Not only do we sponsor this show, A Rocket is a sponsor of Texas Southern University Athletics, Prairie View A&M Athletics, and Sam Houston State Athletics. We do intrastate, out-of-state, we do local, we do office, commercial, and residential moving, and we have a bevy of warehouses to store your items in, climate control. We have them as big as 62,000 square feet and as big as 57,000 square feet. So we will be more than happy to service your need for a move. Give us a call. Ask for me, Philip Green, 713-748-6024, as we continue to be a part of what goes on in the great city of Houston, as well as with this show, with all the good guys and the guests that we continue to bring onto the show.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you. And I can attest, I use A Rocket, and great company, powerful brothers, and very helpful. So we go get right into it. And thank you, Phil. We go get right into it. And the most, I would say the most fighting, controversial, and up-to-date sport that is going on right now, in my opinion, is the WNBA. Those girls, if you watch them, they get into fights. They play hard. That is why there are so many injuries now to prominent players. So I want to just talk about it. They are about to have their championship round, their playoffs, and all that starting. First, has it been a successful year for them? I believe they've made a profit this year. And of course, the question is, should they strike? Will that benefit them? They were offered a 300% increase in salary. And as far as we know, they turned it down. Armando, what you think?
Am I doing great?
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead,
Yeah,
brother.
so they get a little piece of the pie. They want too much of the pie. You can't help that. Your sport just started becoming super relevant right now. So, it's a step at a time. You take what they give you and start building on what's available to you. And especially with, what's it called? They got the new league that they have. I forgot what it's called. But they play 3-on-3 basketball, and they make good money doing that as well.
You're breaking up a little bit, Armando. But we got
Ladies, they should take their time and little by little chipping away at the rock. And
okay, it sounds good. Jason, what do you think?
Let's see. So they got too much momentum to go on strike as a league. I mean, first off, we don't even have to worry about this until the start of the 2026 season. So there's a lot of time to work on this, and there's too much positive momentum for the league. Both sides will figure it out. In my opinion, I don't think that they would actually let games go by without participating in those games. So I think it's probably too early for us to contemplate whether or not that they actually not play games. We shall see, but I think it'll all work out before the 2026 season starts.
Brother Elanis, what you think?
Well, I kind of like that they're standing up for what they believe in. I kind of like that they're mixing it up and making people a little bit uncomfortable. And they're trying to go out and see if they can increase their market share. I don't blame them. But like you said, it's the end of the season. They're going through their, I guess, final four now. How many teams are left? 6, I believe it is. So I think that right after the end of the season, they're going to start wanting to negotiate and see if they can't get something done when it comes to salary. And if that's the case, if they can't, then they're going to make some demands. And I think I just think it's prime to do that, because if they wait, and I understand what you're saying, Jason. I feel like if they wait, then it's not gonna be that effective for them. So I think right after the end of the championship season, they start talking about salary and negotiating that and having another collective bargaining agreement. I don't know if that's due, but
It's due.
yeah. So, try to get the money while you're fresh on somebody's mind. While you're fresh, you've had a pretty successful season and you're fresh on the owner's mind, you're fresh on the fans' mind, and stay in there and stay in that moment where you keep them, where you stay relevant.
Phil and Jeff.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay, basically, I really want the ladies to get everything they need, everything they want. I really want to see them be successful and be happy, etc., etc. Get everything that they earned. I would like to see that, but I'm really hoping that they don't push the envelope too much and end up, getting on somebody's bad side, and end up, next thing you know, you got some retribution, and then you have some bad feelings, and next thing you know, you have a lockout, and then you have a lockout. It can really hurt the product moving forward if you have a lockout. They really need to be careful. You don't want to have a lockout. You have momentum. You finally have momentum from last season to this season. You don't want a lockout right now. Now, I understand you want to ask for everything you feel like you deserve, but you got to know when to fold. You always got to know when to fold, and I just hope they know when to fold and go ahead and accept the best deal on the table, and not have it keep lingering. That's because I don't want to see them have a lockup. It can hurt the product. Phil?
As I've been saying, since anytime that subject comes up, they're on their way. It's coming, and now we're here. You look at a lot of progress the league has made from its inception to where it is now. I haven't seen any setbacks that tells me they're going to crumble, they're going to fold, they're going to not get their money. I mean, that's relative to the game because they've already made progress to get where they are now. The progress is still coming with TV contracts. Look at the growth. They've already established 4 more teams. Why would they now go out and destroy what's potentially, and they want more. Like anybody else, more is always better in some people's opinion, but this is the WNBA, not the NBA. Big difference, but at the same time, they play quality ball. There's some good players. And don't forget, guys, I told you before she was great, even though the knee ACL happened, Juju's coming. Juju's coming. And there's lots more talent behind her.
She signed up for Unrivaled, and they're going to have the second year of Unrivaled. And that is showcase a lot of those players. So that should be a good thing. What about the injuries that have happened? Are they more prone as women to injuries, or, the prominent players? Jason, what do you think about that?
I don't know the physics behind whether or not they would be more prone to injury or not. I mean, I know it's been a lot of the top players have gone down. I don't know if that's a coincidence or, the makeup of a female's body. I don't think that's the case. I just think it's just been a bad run, really, is my opinion. I don't think that there's any more reason why the ladies would be hurt more often than the men would. So,
Jeff, what do you think about that? You have been a proponent of them lowering the rims to dunk. If you put that kind of pressure, more physics on the ladies, wouldn't they be a little bit more prone to get injured?
Well, that is a possibility. That's something to think about because if you lower the rim, then they're going to be trying to dunk more quite naturally. And so, yeah, I can imagine there will be more injuries. I just want to see it because I want to see the ladies dunk. I just think it's so sexy to see a woman dunk on another woman. I love it, man. It turns me on. So I want to see it. And I know a lot of other guys at the sports clubs, sports bars, they want to see it too. I talked to Shaquille O'Neal. He said he want to see it too. A lot of guys want to see it. They want to see the women dunking, man. It's horrible to see 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" women can't dunk. They throw the layup, miss the layup. Right underneath the goal, dunk the ball. They can't. Lower the goal. Let them be.
I just think the more they play, they will develop the physics to be able to dunk. I think, as they get a little bit more experienced and better, they'll start dunking, be able to dunk. I just believe that, but we'll see. But it won't be as official if they lower the rims. Now they have the rims at a regular size, and it's still an official game. Yes, Jeff.
Quick point. You have to understand, they want to get paid parallel to what the NBA players are making, and that's not going to happen. We understand that's not going to happen. But you have to understand the NBA game is more entertaining, and one of the reasons why it's more entertaining because you got the high flying dunks. So I just think that if you lower the rim,
you're gonna have a high flying dunk on a lower rim, so it's not gonna be official even then, and that'll be in the back of the fans' mind.
It's still be entertaining. If they dunking, it's still entertaining. You gotta understand the average player in the NBA is 6'7". The average player in the WNBA is 6'1". So quite naturally, they at a disadvantage if they play on the same size goals the men. They at a disadvantage as far as entertainment wise, as far as entertainment value.
Brother,
so I think it should be done.
Yeah, it would be great if we could see more dunks in the ladies game, but I'm kind of on Jeff's side right now. I don't think physically they'll be able to get there to the 10-foot rim. You mentioned something, Carl, about about lowering the rim. I don't see anything wrong with it. Their basketball is a little bit smaller than the men's, so it allows them to handle the ball a little bit better because their hands aren't quite as big. So why not lower it, a foot or so to see if we can get some more dunks? So I don't know. It's interesting, but everybody's right that I think you would get more viewership if you were seeing more highlight type reels where you're getting the high flying ladies up above the rim. The NBA game is played above the rim, so it'd be nice to see the ladies play up there too.
Armando, what you think?
Well, personally for me, the game is pretty entertaining right now, but I'd go with the group. Dunking would make it very, very much more entertaining than ever before, and of course, people want to see that skill.
Okay, I'm gonna have to question my guess for myself next time. But okay, well, they're about to go to the championship. We believe it's probably going to be Minnesota and the Liberty. That's what our last guest voted on. Anybody got a difference with that? That's what I think it is. But I wanted to go to comments on that. I wanted to go to the tennis realm. It seems to be an exciting game, and new players are starting to win. Now you got Venus out there at 45, just showing what she can still do. That's pretty exciting. But you got the new girl, Victoria from Canada, going against Coco Gauff, won that. And then you still have, well, no, not Coco Gauff, Osaka, the lady Osaka. And you still have Coco Gauff out there. So tennis is still interesting. Now the men have not had a real champion in a while that has really caught the imagination that I remember. And then the other kind of side sport, golf. Golf is always, it's a very quiet sport. Any golfers out there, Elanis, are you a golfer?
Yeah, I play a little bit. I don't play as often as I would like to. I get out every once in a while and get a chance to play, but I follow it a lot.
I mean, to me, it really, unless Tiger Woods was playing, it was probably the most boring thing. However, there are a lot of people that watch it on TV, and they watch every round and so forth. So I can't see that, but I just look at sports and try. I'm a track fan, and not everybody's a track fan. I get excited about that. What do you say about golf and tennis, Jason?
Well, I saw something interesting this week. So the PGA put together a competition committee. It's going to be headed by Tiger Woods. And they said that major changes are coming in the way that the sport is played and viewed. So I'm interested to see, a different style, in my opinion, anything that makes it a little bit more, like you said, you have to watch 4 rounds of golf. If you're a purist, let's just say, and you're watching on Thursday and it doesn't mean as much. I tune in usually Sunday afternoons and see who's coming down the stretch as the leaders. That's when I watch. But Tiger says major changes ahead for the format, the PGA format, which is, those folks are really tough to change their minds on how this looks. So I'll be interested to see. It's a 15-man committee led by Tiger Woods. So I'll be interested. They said they're not married to any of the old school ways. They're going to try to keep the some of the traditions alive, but at the same time, everything's on the table, and the format could change. So, I mean, we see now that they have competition, right? I mean, Live is their competition, and they're doing things a little bit differently. They haven't garnered any true TV stake, or threat to the PGA, but we'll just have to see what's around the corner.
I mean, Jason,
we'll check that out. It's going to be interesting. I wonder what kind of changes he can make. Jeff, preseason football is in full gear.
Carl, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. My fault.
I just wanted to ask Jason if he had heard any information. You brought that up because the PGA and Live had talked about creating a partnership. Do you think that has died down, or could that be some of the changes that Tiger's talking about?
I mean, potentially it could. I mean, you have, a handful of the best golfers in the world not playing on the PGA Tour.
Right.
So, I mean, I definitely could see some sort of interleague play, let's just say, of some kind. Anytime that they do one of these nation versus nation tournaments, it's like the biggest deal of the year. And maybe they could have a PGA versus Live tournament from time to time. Who knows exactly what it will look like, but you've got to incorporate those guys. I mean, you can't just have them come around 4 times a year to play in the majors. They need to be more of a piece of the puzzle.
I was going to say they've been coming back to playing the majors, and they hadn't fared well at all in the majors. Dustin and those guys hadn't played well when they come back to America to play in these majors, and they've been playing over there and Live.
Yeah, it's not, iron sharpens iron, and there's not as many good players in there, and so their game suffers.
And they've already gotten their money, so they don't have to really go out and really perform. So
no, you're right.
And that is the big thing about the Live, the level of money that they have. And so it's hard for the PGA to compete. So if you can't beat them, you might as well join them in a way and make some type of situation work. So I can see that happening. Jeff, the NFL is in the heart of the preseason. What do you see? We see Russell Wilson for the Giants of all teams. He has looked pretty good. Shanur Sanders and the time he's got to play has looked good. What are some of the things that you see, Jeff, then Armando? Jeff?
I think Russell Wilson has a chance to have a good season with the Giants if the offensive line can hold up. I really think that he has a chance to resurrect his career there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if he can. We know he has the ability to, but will he? I think he can.
I think he had a pretty good season last year.
Yeah.
But that quarterback controversy and the way they handled it overshadowed it. But I thought he had a pretty good season last year.
Yeah, he had 16 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, so that's 3-1. So I thought so as well. I agree. But his 2023
Armando, what you think about the NFL coming up?
Well, so far so good. We got, in my mind, 3 teams that need to prove themselves. You got the Minnesota Vikings with their new quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. You got Caleb and his new head coach in Chicago. Chicago fans may think, hey, Super Bowl, we spanked the Bills 38-0, fool's gold. And then you got the New York Giants with Russell Wilson. And let's see where that goes. Or maybe they're like, okay, let's cut our losses. Let's insert Jackson Dart in there and let's see how that goes. Because, win or lose, whether or not Jackson plays great, they could be up for a great quarterback class next year. And we'll see how that goes. But those 3 teams need to prove themselves. Okay, actually, one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Whether Aaron Rodgers is washed up?
He looks like gold, but he isn't. He's fool's gold in my mind, right? Because last year when he played with the Jets, he looked good, but his play does not translate to wins. So is his play going to translate to wins with the Steelers? Most likely not, because the Steelers want to run the ball and Rodgers wants to throw the ball. So we'll have to wait and see how him and DK Metcalf's chemistry works out.
I thought he had an outstanding season last season. The guy threw 3,900 yards, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. I thought he had an outstanding season last season.
Okay.
You can have a standard season, but that does not, if it doesn't translate to wins, it's awesome stats. It's awesome stats for you, but that's when we say, enjoy.
Right. It's a team sport. I'm aware it's a team sport.
Elanis, what you think about football coming up?
Well, I kind of steer toward the young group of quarterbacks. The old heads, I think, the Wilsons and the Rodgers, they've had their fame, and Rodgers is probably a Hall of Famer. I'm not sure about Wilson, but I know Rodgers is probably a Hall of Famer. But I kind of watch some of the younger guys, Daniels and Hurt over in Philadelphia and those guys. But I'm really interested to see how the hometown guy, Aaron Glenn, is going to do in New York with the Jets. That's what I'm interested to see. If he can have a big turnaround with the New York Jets and put them back on the map and get them in the playoffs playing and winning. And I'm really interested to see that. Interested to see what he's going to do in New York with the Jets.
Aaron Glenn can have a good turnaround with the Jets, but it's going to be difficult because he has no quarterback.
Well, I mean that's part of coaching. You have to coach with what you have, and if you can manage to get to the playoffs, I would say that's a successful season. He's had a major turnaround.
He's going to have to compete with the Patriots.
I agree with that.
Jason, what you think?
Who's a Patriots quarterback? Who's their guy?
Drake May is the Patriots quarterback, and he's young and up and coming. I mean, I'm interested to see. Again, I'm also interested to see these young quarterbacks: Jaden Daniels,
Me too.
Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix, Drake May. These young guys, I want to see them. What they're going to.
C.J. Stroud.
And C.J. Stroud, yeah. I'm ready for him to have a bounce back year, and I think he will.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Jeff, when is that first season game?
September 7th.
September 7th is going to get started. anything about college football, we tend to forget about that sometimes, but it's still a prominent game, and it's still, you know, the boosters and everything out there. Elanis, you wanted to say something?
Well, I mean, when you come to college, hey, man, you got to go with my horns. They're ranked number one. I hate that we're ranked number one, preseason number one, because that's kind of putting the bullseye on your back.
It is.
That's putting the bullseye on their back. But
don't worry, man. You got the oil money. You could definitely get those players that you need to maintain it.
Well, you're right about that. We got the money, and we got Manning. So we'll see what happens. I you know, they've kind of already touted him as the leader in the Heisman Trophy, which, you know, I understand, but you still have to play the games. We open the season next weekend against Ohio State at Ohio State. So we'll see what happens.
Banger right there, right off the bat. We got a banger. I mean, number 1 versus number 3, I think it is.
3, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
3.
So I mean, which is I can't remember that before on the very first weekend of college football. Well, I guess we had some games this weekend, but the first true weekend of college football is next weekend, and it's 1 versus 3.
Listen,
So,
it's great for the fans, awesome for the fans, and also awesome for the teams, because really it's playoffs. They have the playoffs, so I mean, you lose now, you lose early, you're good to go.
right.
You're off and running, hopefully.
I remember the days of when the conferences were, you know, the big thing. You had the Big 8, Oklahoma against Nebraska. You had Alabama against Auburn. You had Texas against Texas A&M. And those days are not here. You had those conference matchups, Michigan against Michigan State, Michigan against Ohio State. Those went down. They still have those games, but to me, they're not as big anymore. They're not as significant anymore. There's still so much money out there. You had Notre Dame against USC, such a big game, you know, but it just doesn't resonate with me as much as it used to. And so, I mean, I don't keep up with it more, but I know it's still a prominent game. But there's so much money involved now. The NIL has kind of changed the college game. And, you know, we always kind of talk about the NIL, and, you know, they talking to Trump about, you know, changing the rules. Eventually, I think those rules are going to be changed, probably not to the benefit of the athlete, but some kind of compromise has to be made. Phil, what do you say? Let me go to Phil. What do you think, Phil?
First of all, let me interject a little information coming back from where you guys way back as you were talking about the golf situation. No, I'm not a big golf fan, but what I find interesting about the whole situation is when organizations merge, typically the more prominent organization absorbs the prominent. Examples are the NBA absorbing the ABA, the NFL absorbing the ABA. The AFL. Those were organizations that were good by themselves, but they were prominent. They were out in front. And I just have a hard time seeing how the PGA can't control LIV just because they don't have enough money. You're the more established, the more prominent, you're more known. And that's just interesting to me without being a golf fan. But I do know Scotty Scheffler is a bad boy. I do know
I'll interject there, man. You know money talks.
And I got to listen for you. I'm going to do it. Whenever you're on the show, I got to keep you in check too, young man. You say the Jets don't have a quarterback.
Listen.
You say the Jets don't have a quarterback, but
they do not.
Justin Fields is a quarterback, just so you know.
No.
Okay.
He's not.
When he lines up, he's not going to go to wide receiver. He's not going to be a defensive back. He's going to line up behind the center. He's going to get a cadence. He's either going to hand it off or he's going to throw it. Now, hold your peace.
It's called the Wildcat. It's called the Wildcat. That is all.
I'm going to do hold your peace. You know I was coming after you. Now, second of all, Russell Wilson will make the Hall of Fame. He won't be a first ballot. I'm not a big Aaron Rodgers fan, but he probably will make the Hall of Fame on first ballot. That's the difference between the two. Because if you check his stats against some of the guys who are already in, they need to check some of them out, man, because he is definitely that good. I mean, not that he's done so great the last few years, but a lot of quarterbacks fade at the end, but he has decent teams. Now, with Aaron Rodgers, he's in a much better situation in Pittsburgh. That organization, which you can say the Jets don't have an organization, that's what you should be looking at, not the quarterback. Now, and the last thing I'm just going to say is college football rules. NIL, no NIL. You just look at how much pageantry, how much excitement. I attend college games all the time and the pro games too. And I can tell you, in my opinion, the college game, no matter how much money they ruin it with right now, those guys are playing for a whole lot of different reasons because 90% of them ain't going nowhere after that. It's that small 10% that makes that Saturday fantastic whenever they play. And then everything leads up to what they're doing now. They're promoting the game much better than they ever have. That's just something to catch up with you guys on. I was a little behind, but that's good.
But really, let me just say my 2 cents here, college football. When those rivalry games come up and it's playoff time, they're far better now because they mean so much more now. You're going for a championship. You're not just playing because, there's a trophy here that we need to pass on. You're going for a championship. You're playing in the playoffs. So they're far better now, I believe. But,
well, how can
I
you
just have to
say
throw
it's
that in
far
there.
better now? How old are you, 35? Come on now.
Hey, freshly minted 38.
Okay. I mean, I've been around. I saw O.J. Simpson against Notre Dame once upon a time. So there's nothing like playing in the Coliseum with 100,000 people. And of course, they still have that, but the pageantry of that time was something else. But I understand what you're saying, that things must change. They must change. So
So Carl, back then,
go ahead, Jason.
Back then, those games that you're talking about that meant so much, they did. They meant a lot. And I mean, we all grew up on it and it was all we had and it was great. But at the time, at the end of the year, you had a group of people voting on who the best team was. I mean, it wasn't decided on the field. I mean, there was a year, 1984, BYU won a national championship because they went 14-0 against a soft schedule. We don't.
And we should have won that game. We should have been the national champions in '84. We lost to Georgia 10-9 in the Cotton Bowl.
Herschel Walker over the top. He scored the touchdown. I remember that game. That was the Sugar Bowl. Exactly. I mean, if Texas played BYU in 1984, who wins the game? Texas is going to win that game. So it was great. It was beautiful. We grew up on it. We loved it, but it's even better now because we actually get to play the games on the field. And then we get games like Texas versus Arizona State in the semifinals last year or the quarterfinals. I'm not sure which one it was. And that was just an amazing game. And we're going to get more and more and more of that. It's improving, new and improved.
I'm just probably having that nostalgia for the old Southwest Conference and losing all of those kinds of conferences that had such a great alignment, impact, and so forth. So I'm just trying to, go back to nostalgia, but things change, and I got to respect that. Jeff, what do you got to say?
Well, I disagree with you when you said that it's not like it used to be. I'm like, yeah, it is. It's bigger than it used to be. I just think that you're still getting adjusted to the conferences be changing over, and you kind of got to get used to that. And maybe that's what's making you feel the way you feel. But I'm like, college football is huge. I still enjoy college football as much as I did 30 years ago. So I don't see a drop at all.
I got you. I understand. Very important question, Mr. Elanis. What's the matter with the Astros? Have they? Last I heard, they were losing every game. What's going on?
Well, they're in a slump. It happens. They are obviously slumping at a bad time toward the end of the season. But the plus is they're still in first place. They're still in first place. They're up by 2 games over Seattle. That's a plus. And so tonight, they're leading. Baltimore, last time I checked, it was 4-0 in the 4th inning. It's probably a little deeper than that now. And I think they won last night. So they're finding ways to win. And they're still in first place after losing all those games they lost. it looks like Jordan is on his way back. He went 3 for 3 or 4 for 4 last night in Double-A. That's in Double-A. He's played the last 3 or 4 nights in Double-A. I would expect him to play maybe another 1 or 2 games there, then go play in Triple-A to get a little bit better competition. And if his hand holds up well, then we should see him back in the big leagues by mid-September, or the beginning of September, the second week or third week of September. As long as they stay healthy and they find a way to win, that's what it's all about. You just have to find a way to win. And that's what it's all about. They're still in first place.
I understand that. What changes or what improvements would they need to make to be a stronger team?
Get healthy. Get everybody back.
Obviously, pitching is key. That's where you really win ball games, pitching and defense. You can scratch across a run here and there. You get guys on base, you can move them over. Guys can handle the bat, move them over. Hit a deep fly ball and score a run, or hit a ball up the middle with the infield back with a runner at third, less than 2 outs, and score a run. But if you can stop teams from scoring, limit base runners and limit errors, giving the opponent extra outs, you have a chance to win. And so pitching is key. Lance McCullers came back. He started tonight. He's on the mound. You just hope that Arrighetti can find a way to figure something out. I don't know. He's struggling since his return, but you just hope that he can find something, figure it out, and fix something here or there. And you hope that the bullpen will stay healthy and finish strong down the line and get into the playoffs and make a run. Here, the thing is, I don't think there will be a wild card team out of the division, out of the Astros division, out of the West. That will probably come out of the East.
I agree.
Understood. Jason, what's your opinion about the Astros?
I agree on most of those sentiments there. I mean, it really comes down to, our health. It's been one injury after the other. Even today we put Sousa on the IL. Yeah. He's been an integral part of the bullpen. Hader shut down. I'm worried about Hader being lost for the year. They signed Greg Kimbrell, which
I know.
He once was he would be a great addition, but at this point of his career, we're not going to get that much out of him. When I talked to you guys a month ago, I said Joe Espada for manager of the year. He's got this team in first place, and half the time it's a AAA roster that we're fielding because of just being decimated by injuries. So
the young outfielder went on the IL too.
Trammell.
Yep, they have to score more. Right now, there are 9 teams over in the American League that scores more points than the Astros. And then there are 20 teams overall in the major leagues that score more runs than the Astros. 20 teams. So think about that. They got to score more.
It's 4-3 right now, top of 5.
Say that again, Philip.
It's 4-3 now, top of 5.
Oh,
Astros.
Well. I may have just jinxed it. My bad.
Armando, do you keep up with the Mets or the Yankees?
Not yet. It's not playoff yet.
Okay. Do you think they're going to make it?
Baseball's too slow. I know. Listen. The Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees may end up playing in the wild card spot, and that's going to be awesome. The Mets, if they
got
do
a history of playing each other and going through the slugfest together, and a whole lot of history with Boston. You don't have a more of a history than Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees. So we'll see about that.
He just told you he was 38, Carl. He don't process a lot of that stuff. It's no crime against him. That's
sorry, Phil, listen.
You
This
don't
day
know
and
what
age,
I'm
Phil,
talking about.
whatever it is I want to find out, I can go back.
Yeah,
It's called
he
a
I know
lot.
you do.
what I'm
But
talking
that's
about.
exactly what I'm saying. I'm gonna do. You don't want to know. You just stated that. You only watch for the player, and I respect that. This is what I've learned as I've gotten older. From the barbershop to this platform right here, people are gonna tend to go with the era they're from. It doesn't matter what era you're from. You go get an old guy in his 70s, he got stuff to tell you ain't never heard of, and he's probably right on the money. You might not understand it, just like Amadou. He's the youngest guy on here. We're all probably able to tell him something, but we have to listen to what he has to say. Young need old, old need young. Any way you cut it. Coaching, playing. Let me give an example real quick, guys, and I'm gonna let it go. I'm in the cleaners today, and a young man's in there with me. He's staring me down. I pay for my clothes. I'm turning to leave. He goes, Coach. And I looked at him. He said, you full of green, right? I go, yeah. He said, you were my little league. And he told me his name. And I remember this kid was a hunk of chubby everything as a kid. He looks like Dr. J now, swell, smooth. He's a school teacher. He also was a trained piano. He had a lot of skills, but he couldn't play baseball. That's what I coached him in. And we were over at South Central, Elanis.
Right,
He helped start that league.
right.
And he was one of the first guys to play. His brother, on the other hand, was even bigger than him, and he didn't want to play. But he said, man, I cannot thank you for all the days you stayed with me after practice, hitting, catching, just running the bases. It was just so much fun. He's 29 years old now. And I always
that's what
said
it's
I
all
like
about.
these kind of things. That's all I was going to say. That's a paycheck. That's volunteer work. I
Right.
did like 12 years of it. And that kid made my day, man. That's
Right. That's what we do it for.
and I knew he wasn't a baseball player. He wasn't even close, but he's a teacher now. And he lived in Los Angeles. He lived in New York, him and his brother. Their dad was like a bassist with some of these top jazz band groups.
Okay.
So those kids were talented and they could play all these instruments. And so I would imagine they were going to be successful, so, but they played with us over at South Central.
Yep.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
You have some impact on you, right, with that. So we just go out there and do the best we can. So Jeff, we are on the NBA now. First of all, what changes have happened since last time we've had a conversation? Any NBA changes? Anything happened? And then talk about the Rockets.
Okay, nothing has happened within the last 2 weeks, but there are a lot of rumors going around. Right now, Jonathan Kuminga, that plays for the Golden State Warriors, who's a highly talented athletic player, they can't reach a contract agreement with him. So what I'm hearing is that he could be moved real soon. Also, I'm hearing about say what?
I said he's definitely getting out of there. Kuminga not gonna stay in. He doesn't get along with the coach either. So
okay,
yeah, he's
and then
out of there.
also. I'm also hearing the Warriors are really trying to trade for LeBron James. They really want to put him with Steph and Draymond, so they really trying to make that trade to get LeBron James. I'm also hearing Bubachik from the Bulls. The Bulls are trying to move Bubachik, center, the big 7'1" center. I like him, but we got enough big men in Houston. But if we didn't, I would love to get Bubachik. He's an outstanding player. So there are a lot of trade rumors going on, and yes, I think there's going to be some trades between now and the start of the season. Yes, there will be some news. Also, Russell Westbrook is still a free agent. And I'm hearing right now that he's going to probably end up signing with the OKC Thunder to finish his career where it started. So that'd be a good pickup.
That makes sense.
Pick up Russell Westbrook. Yeah, make a lot of sense. Yeah. So it should be interesting. A call. Before we move on, I have 2 questions that came in from the fans on the site. First one comes in from Silas McMorris. The biggest question for the Texans is, will the offensive line be good enough this season? So what do you guys think? Will the offensive line be good enough this season, or will they hinder the Texans' effort?
Yeah,
they can't help but be better than they were last year. I just say that. They can't help but be a little bit better than they were last year.
Yeah, you can't put all the pressure on one area.
So let me ask you that. With that being said, do you play your number 1 offensive line and number 1 offensive team more this weekend against Detroit since it's the last?
No.
I mean, how do you know then?
Well, they've been playing already the first 2 games. You don't need them for this game. You don't want anyone to get hurt. I mean, it's preseason. It's preseason.
Instead of
everybody
one
ready for week
series,
1.
So you don't play
Mhm.
them at all, or you play them one series?
Well, it's subjected to the coach and to the situation. In my opinion, they cut from 6 games to 3 for a reason in preseason. So
Correct.
you have less time to really play. So if you don't know what your product is by now, when are you going to find out? I mean, they did play some of the first 2 games, and some people haven't played all preseason who are,
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
but I just think that's relative to your depth and to your organizational missions. Do
Well,
we do
I
this
guess
or do we not?
I guess I'm going back to what we would consider the old days when the guys play whoever was.
Oh yeah, that's
whoever,
different. Yeah, well, that's
It
part
is.
of the
That's
new
it.
regime. You know, you don't even have
Exactly.
practice like you used to doing it. You can't hit in pads and stuff
Right.
like
Right.
that like you used to. Update, guys.
Right.
Astros up 7-3 now. So
Okay.
All right.
Christian
Good,
Walker
good.
home run.
Outstanding. Another question that came in from the site from again South McMarsh. He says, "Will the Astros win the division in spite of the injuries that they have been experiencing?"
That's
What
a
do you
good
guys
question.
think?
That's a good question. I mean, you can only. It's going to be determined on the field. I mean, they can win it. They're leading it, but you never know. Something down the line may happen. Seattle may get hot, but they can win it. They need to. You got to fight. You got to battle, and you got to keep those guys at bay. You got to win. When you play heads up against the number 2 and number 3 teams in your division, you have to win the series. That's the way you win it. So if you have 8 more games against Seattle, you have to win 6 of those 8.
Understood.
Okay. One other question from Silas. He says, "What is the backup plans the Rockets have if Kevin Durant gets injured?"
I think they
Well,
got enough talent to be able to still compete and at least win a little bit more than half of their games, even without him. I mean, they'll just, hey, you got Tyrese and he can move in and start if he
That's
get
true.
hurt. You got a lot of different situations that they can adjust with. So I'm not worried about that. But healthy Kevin Durant could possibly put them over the top. So I like that addition. And we'll see if they have the experience as well as the talent and skill to win better than they did last year. And last year was pretty good, 51 and
I have a
31.
wild card. I have a wild card on Kevin Durant right now. What I'm hearing, my sources are telling me that the Rockets are struggling to get a deal with him as far as on a contract extension. You know, he's in the last year of his contract, and it was understood that it was understood that when they traded for him, they was going to be able to reach a 2-year contract extension. That way, have his rights for 3 seasons. But right now, what I'm hearing is
He doesn't
Rockets are
want
having
that.
a hard time signing him, and so
But
you
Durant
could be
doesn't
looking
want
at a
it.
1-year rental. You could be looking at a 1-year rental. Now, if we look at a 1-year rental, how you guys feel about that trade now?
It's hard for me. I love Durant. He's a heck of a ball player. He's a heck of a scorer. But it's hard for me to give up young talent when you got a guy that hadn't played a full season in the last 5 seasons. He hadn't been healthy all season at least last 4. And so you give up a young guy in green that can get up and down the court. I know obviously he wasn't playing to the top of his ability, but that's where coaching and development comes in, and you work on some things with guys like that. For me, Durant not playing a full season within the last 4 seasons, or haven't been healthy for the last 4 seasons throughout the entire course of a year, is dicey. I didn't think that they were going to be able to get an extension anyway, Jeff. I don't think he wants that. He's at a stage now in his career where he's going to go where he wants to go and see if he can win a championship at that particular team at that particular year.
There is no way, if I'm the general manager of the Houston Rockets, do I give up Jalen Green? Do I give up Dylan Brooks? Do I give up the 10th pick in the draft, along with 5 second-round picks for a guy that's going to come play 1 season for me? There's no way I can make that trade.
I look at it like this. If he comes in this 1 season, and let's say we get to the championship, just because he's not signed now doesn't mean he won't sign if things go good. So I'm
True.
gonna
I
look
agree
at
with that.
things going good, and we'll get him signed, or I'll let him move, and hey, we'll get somebody else. And you know,
But
I'm not
but you
beholden
won't.
to him, especially for no real exorbitant amount, but because I think the rest of my players give me a good enough chance, and we just get somebody else, and we still in the money. That's the way
Well,
I.
he
Now,
becomes a
this is
free
trade
agent
I'm
if you don't
hearing
get
now.
anybody for him.
Now, this is what trade I'm hearing now. Houston sends Reed Shepherd, Almon Thompson, and
No,
Shingun
no,
to Phoenix for
no,
Devin Booker.
No.
no,
Booker.
Are
There's
you
no way I do
kidding?
that.
no,
Are
There's
you
no way I do that.
kidding?
no. I'm not giving
There's
up.
no way I do
I'm not
that.
giving up
No.
Thompson.
No way I do that. There's no way I do that.
Yeah,
No.
No way I
are
do
you
it.
kidding? I got another important question before we right at the end of our show. But Jake Paul is out there. He's got who's that fight he's against Phil set up?
Devontae Davis.
Yeah, well, that's gonna
Fight
be an
Davis.
exhibition for sure. Devontae
Fight
that
Davis.
Tank. That's an exhibition. I mean, he's 200 something pounds and Tank's 135. You know, so that's not
Okay, so
legit.
it's just an exhibition.
Oh,
He
yeah,
could
for
not
sure.
get a normal fight against Anthony Joshua or
Now that's
one
a
of
whole
the
nother
others.
animal. I think that's more than he can handle. But if he did, that would impress me because the tomato cans he's been dealing with. I mean, come on.
Hey,
Oh,
what do you guys think?
There's
Hold on,
money
what
to
do
be
you guys-
made.
there you go. Amadu's right. But I want to see him get knocked out and earn his money.
What do you
Yeah.
guys
There's
think
money to
about
be made, man.
Alvarez
Money to
versus
be made.
Crawford?
He need to-
They say Crawford is training at 186 pounds. What do y'all think about that? He's training at 186. Crawford is. So, what do you guys think about that fight?
He got to fight Canelo first. How you gonna
Right.
do it?
That's what I'm talking about. That's why I
That's
said
what he's talking
Alvarez, Canelo.
Yeah, but they're not
Canelo
fighting at
Alvarez.
186. They fighting at junior middleweight.
I'm aware. I say he's training. He's
I
training at
understand that.
186.
I
That's
understand
what
that,
he's
but
at
why?
get down.
Okay, my question is why? He's almost 40 years old.
I'm just telling you
Boxing
they
ain't
reported.
basketball. Boxing ain't football. He almost
Right.
40 years old. He get his head knocked off. I
I'm
mean,
telling you.
yeah,
Alvarez
I
ain't about to play
understand.
with.
And I'm just saying, if he goes to fight anybody at 186, they better be a tomato can. If they worth their salt, because he's an outstanding fighter. We're not talking about a chump here. Crawford is class act talent.
Best of the best. He's the best
Yeah,
of the
that's what I'm
best.
saying. So he's not fighting to do it to fight somebody if they're not better than Canelo. We got to see what he does here first, which I think he can beat.
Okay. Let me reiterate. He's not planning to fight at 186. He's training at 186.
To
because
get
he's trying
down
to
to
get
154. I understand.
Right.
He
Right.
got
Right.
up to get down. I understand that part of boxing.
Okay.
I've
right.
never been a boxer, but I've read and heard and understood a lot of it. Yeah, that's common. He probably walks the street at a heavyweight. But my point is, come fight night with Canelo, all that matters is he makes that weight, if
Right.
he's competitive, and if he can win that fight, which I think he can.
He better be in the best shape of his life because he better run. Because he can't get tired. Don't get tired in the 7th round and all of a sudden you're not moving like you were and get caught. Ooh.
He's almost 40 years old, Jeff. He's going to get tired at some point. Now, you made the point that he's training at 186. That's for a reason. So he can get down. He had to go up to see what he can do and pick up the weight because he fought at 147.
Right.
That's a big difference.
A lot of weight.
Yes, a lot of weight.
Right.
We talking about fighting at 40 years old.
Yeah.
The last point has Layla Ali finally said she's not going to fight my girl Clarissa Shields.
Which is smart. Call. Oh, hold on. I got
Right.
a phone call. Hello? No, he's busy right now. Clarissa, for you call, but I told her you were busy and that you were not training to fight her.
Phil,
Okay,
I'm rethinking that. I don't want to get embarrassed and get hit a couple of times. And then, so I'm rethinking that. I say, no, that's all right, Clarissa. I get a hug.
That's the most wise decision you've made. That's
Yes,
a wise
brother.
decision.
So Layla's finally said she's not going to fight.
And that's a wise decision for her, too.
Wise decision for her.
40 years old. It's ridiculous. 40 years old. She should be
that's a wise
retired
decision.
somewhere. ARP.
You know, very wise. Okay, guys, we are at the end of our show. Our next episode will be our 50th episode, and that is a milestone. And we appreciate all the help that you all have had us, gave us as we get there, and we gonna continue. We gonna get to 100. We gonna get to 200, and we gonna be always be talking about sports. As long as we're here, we gonna be talking about sports. So we appreciate it. Last comment, Mr. President.
Hey, we got some interesting guests coming up soon. I have the Wheatley basketball, the 68 through 71 Wheatley basketball team that went like 97-2 or something like that. I got them coming up in September. And then, of course, I have the Wheatley football coach, Dwayne, was it Dwayne Coswell? Coswell. I got him coming up in September as well. So we got some interesting
Sterling player, Ernest Coswell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we got some
interesting
customers coming up. And I'm going to bring some more J. Wyatt here. So you get ready to see some more Crimson and Gold. Because they coming.
All right, then. All right, guys. We'll see you next time, and we appreciate it. Thank you very much. And if it's sports,
Philip, Jason,
and Sunny Five Side
Westbrook,
Sports Take.
Jeffrey.
Thank you very much.